What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Kiss Capades podcast. Today, I have a very special guest with me. Tried to get her in the podcast. It's been, a while, but we made it work. Shout outs to, BFF for making it easier for me.
Yes.
So I'll let you introduce yourself and then we'll take it up from there. Just tell the people your name and what you do.
Cool. Well, my name is Shivani Shah Usienola, and yes, that is my real surname because my mom is actually Finnish. So I've had people ask me why do you have something funny on your Instagram profile? What is that? And I'm like, it's my name. It's actually my name. But yeah, so this is actually the last day of me being 21. Because tomorrow is my 22nd birthday, so...
Wait, tomorrow is your birthday?
Yeah. So so that's why it's a nice way, I think, to reflect over my time on Earth so far. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah. How do you celebrate your birthdays, though? Let's start with that before we go to, my main questions.
Well, it's interesting because... before I always used to do, the usual big party and have lots of people over and go out. But right now, this year, I don't know, I feel very more subdued and more calm. And if I had an option, I'd probably just go to the middle of the woods somewhere and just be by myself and just reflect for a little while. So it's amazing how in a year, especially this last year, I feel so much has happened and I've changed so much. So yeah, even my interests are different. So it's my birthday's more just taking time for myself and
let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So the podcast is all about the 4 pillars of life, which I'm assuming you must be familiar with.
Yes.
Health. Help me out. Health.
Love. Happiness. I'm blanking on the last one.
And wealth.
Wealth, of course. Yeah.
So let's just start it off with, maybe your title. And maybe we'll go, or should we start with just your childhood growing up? Where do you want to start? Or should I pick?
Maybe the childhood, because I feel it all was just a continuous story.
Yeah, because that's what kind of shapes you into what or who you are.
Yeah.
Right now, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, first off, just throwing this out there. So I think with Miss India Kenya, so that's my title, Miss India Kenya 2017.
Yeah.
It just was a natural process of my growing up. So I used to have a children's television show from when I was 9 to 18.
Yeah.
So literally I just grew up essentially having a part-time job in front of the camera. So I just feel very natural in front of crowds and people.
How young were you when you started?
9. So literally oh my god, I watched the first episode of myself. It was one of those cassettes that you needed to bring out the big box and plug it in.
Yeah.
And I watched the first episode of me, and I think I had hair down to my thigh, and I had some really funny accent, and I'm like, oh my god, was that me? And then you can literally watch myself grow up over the years through these episodes that I would film. So that's how I think I got a little bit into health and cooking, and from that I just did a lot of social stuff, and so I became lots of friends with photographers, and I just sort of was exposed to that industry.
Yeah.
And then I guess Miss India Kenya was just a continuation for that.
Because I think the problem right now, it's just was saying just behind the camera, the problem is right now everybody wants to be a celebrity or that popularity contest that's going on, and once they get a certain number of followers, they're not even sure how they're supposed to act, because now there's all these expectations I have all these people looking at me, and what am I supposed to do next, and
it's a pressure. And I mean so I don't know, I don't invest, so I like photography, so for me Instagram has just been a photographic creative outlet for me to post what I'm seeing when I do travel, just the beautiful places that the world has to offer. For me it's quite creative, whereas I know people are literally making it into a business or an outlet, and I mean that way I haven't invested so much time and effort into growing my platform. So I mean, right now I only have about 3,200 followers, but still, I'm like, wow, like
Yeah.
3,000 people. It's
Yeah.
still. I mean, I still, when I go out sometimes to places, and it doesn't happen often, but I do get the few people being like, oh hey, you're that chick on Instagram,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
oh hey, you're that fit girl who like works out, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, it's interesting how it's sort
Or
of
Miss
like a,
India, you know.
or Miss India Kenya,
Yeah.
like it's just like a certain image that's just been created around me right now, and it's interesting.
And speaking of which, I mean, since you started at 9 and you know you've been doing like TV show and everything, did you feel or do you feel the need to like adapt now into like the digital platform? Because you've been doing it for like the longest time.
Yeah.
Do you think it would be just right for you to now like transform into like the YouTube community and because you've been
Oh
doing
my
it?
God,
I mean,
I would love to. Honestly, like YouTube especially, and just
Yeah.
videography, and
Yeah.
just like, again, creating content. Like I feel like if I had a dream job, it would be a content creator, because I just love sort of, you know, making content like that.
yeah.
But yeah, right now it's just time. You know, like I
What's
just
stopping
started,
you? What's
I just
stopping you?
started being an adult. I just started work, and I'm just like, how does one adult? Like, I just graduated last year. I took about like a couple of months off, but from when I ended my, when I submitted my last paper and when I was done with university, yeah, it was about a year of just like not doing much and just having my free time. And even university, it was demanding, but you can still work on your own schedule. You have maybe like 2 to 4 hours of lecture a day, and it's like the rest of the time is yours. So you can work in the evening, you can work in the morning, but now when you're working in someone else's time and someone else's schedule, my goodness, like even just, you know, fitness, I love it, but I can barely manage to go more than 2 times a week. So that just says
Come
how
on.
how
What?
busy it is.
It can't be that crazy. What did you study in uni? Let's start with that as well.
Well, I did politics and international relations.
Politics and international relations.
Yeah, and now I'm in the food, fitness, health, and digital marketing workforce. So I just swerve with the direction of life that I was on. So yeah, so I actually, I say I ended up in my degree by accident, because I actually applied for law school. And then when we got the first set of assignments to do, I looked at it and I was like, it wasn't the work that put me off, but I was just like, I don't feel this calling to me.
I don't think this is for me.
I don't think it's for me. Like, I like arguing. I like debating. But then it was just something about it not being so personal that I couldn't get my head around. So I emailed the university just asking them, like, hey, can I hear you have a new course. It's called PPE, and that stands for Politics, Philosophy, and Economics. I haven't done any of the 3 subjects before, so, you know, do you think I can still, like, apply? I got no response from them. Next thing I know, I get a notification that my status in the university has changed, and I look, and it says I'm in a completely new degree. And then I was like,
swapped for you.
well, yeah, they swapped it for me, and I was like, wait, hold up, I didn't ask for this. So I went back to the university the next day, and I was like, hi, I think that someone just changed me. Like, I'm not too sure. Can I still go back to law? And they're like, oh, we just gave your place away yesterday. So I was like, what? So I was essentially stuck in this degree where I was like, all right, well, at least it's 3 in 1, but it was so
Yeah.
difficult because it was 3 topics in 1. So I just decided to focus on the one I like best, which was politics. And yeah, I always wanted to do like humanitarian work or work for the UN or something. So I thought that it would be a good transition.
How about your parents? Is it something that they, you know, because they also have a say? I'm just guessing. I can hear you swapping like all these different
Yeah.
things. You're trying one, you're moving to the next. Like,
Yeah.
were they supportive of that journey or?
Yeah, so I mean, initially I do feel that the law thing was a bit of a stereotype. So it's like, oh, you're smart, you know, it's doctor or lawyer.
Say the
or
doctor, lawyer,
economist or
Yeah.
something.
engineer, perhaps.
Yeah, but that way, like, my parents are very supportive. They're very open, and you know, I've always been an overachiever. So it's quite funny. Like growing up, they'd always push me, and they're like, you know, work harder, like do the best. And now it's just become its own monster where I'm such a perfectionist. I'm so competitive. Oh my goodness, I really want to be the best at everything. And even in university, like, in Kenya, it's quite a small community, I would say. And you might be in the top 10 in your class or whatever, and then you go to university and you're literally just a small fish in a big pond, and it would just kill me. And I couldn't handle that difference where I'm a nobody now.
Yeah.
And so my parents adopted the new motto of like, just be average. It's a good thing to be average. So now whenever I'm like stressed or upset, my parents like, just chill, just do what you have to do, then go home. Just relax, enjoy your life.
Yeah.
So it's funny. I know a lot of my friends' parents are very, very forceful and
Yeah.
strong, but my parents like, yo, just chill, enjoy your life.
But especially for like I think Indian parents, like education is so much like priority.